I didn't know much about Cladun Returns when I started playing it. I'd seen a trailer and liked the historical Japanese settings, the pixel graphics and the 8-bit soundtrack, but beyond that I didn't know much, so I was pleasantly surprised at how much I ended up liking this game. Cladun Returns is set after the warring Sengoku period in Japan. You are a warrior helping souls trapped from being reincarnated because they have unfinished business in their past life. You travel to dungeons filled with monsters to find the source of the trapped soul's despair. Each soul you save is a chapter in the game, and each chapter has 5 stages to complete. There is a short cutscene at the start and end of each chapter. I wasn't that impressed with the story. It was fine, but it didn't really grab me. The good thing was the story wasn't intrusive at all, so I didn't feel like I was missing much by not paying attention to it. The game is a top-down dungeon explorer. It reminds me of Shiren or the first Legend of Zelda, but the movement is much more fluid. You can run and jump, and you've got a wide variety of weapons to use. The weapons feel really different and have their own strengths and weaknesses. Swords are good for combo attacks, but once you start the combo, you have to complete it, which can cause problems if the enemy moves out the way suddenly. Axes and hammers break temporary walls but are slow. Staffs can be used for magic, but you can only cast a few spells before it needs recharging. There was no one weapon that was good for all levels. You need to try them all and pick the right one for the right situation. You can barrel in and attack enemies head on, but that will result in taking damage. In the early levels this didn't matter much, but later in the game when the difficulty ramps up, you need to try and be tactical and sneak behind enemies to attack them from the back or side. Aside from leveling your character by killing enemies and gaining experience, you can enhance your character in so many ways. You can unlock magic circles where you have vassals attached to your character and they boost your stats and take damage first until they die. There are many items to collect to enhance the magic circles too. You can enhance weapons and also collect stones to create a virtual castle that will enhance you and your vassal stats. There is a lot of depth and complexity to how you can set up your character to maximize your weapon of choice for each level. The developers did make one strange design choice in my mind, where you can't change your weapon when you enter a stage. Some stages need you to use magic to defeat enemies or a hammer to break walls to secret areas, but if you have a sword then you need to quit the level or finish it and then replay it with the correct weapon. This can be a little bit annoying because you have no idea what you'll be facing each level. However, it's not too annoying because the levels are generally very short. Most of the early levels can be finished in just a couple of minutes, although later on they do get longer. The difficulty of the game is extremely easy for the first 2 chapters. It increases slightly from chapter 3 onwards, but then there's a massive spike for chapter 6. When I first started playing the game, I was concerned the levels were too easy and too short, and that I would finish it too quickly. But when I hit chapter 6, I was struggling to even progress. Each time you complete a chapter, you unlock EX dungeons, which are harder dungeons that contain Lord Souls. You can add these Lord Souls to your magic circle for improved attributes. The EX dungeons were also pretty easy at first until I got to the 3rd set, at which point I needed to grind before I could beat them. After you beat chapter 3, you unlock Rangens. These are random dungeons. 99 floors of procedurally generated areas full of enemies of increasing difficulty. This was excellent post-game content, and it was also useful for grinding and trying to get new and useful equipment. Between the core game, EX dungeons, Rangens and optional quests that encourage replaying levels, there's so much to do in this game. The graphics were excellent. As I said, I'm a fan of pixel graphics, and this game had great variety of environments and enemies. You can even choose your own character appearance. I also love the 8-bit soundtrack. You can choose to have an 8-bit or modern soundtrack, and the 8-bit soundtrack is excellent. I found myself distracted by it because it was so good. I was lukewarm on this game at the start due to its easy and short levels, but it really grew on me. I ended up really enjoying Cladun Returns. The game does get ridiculously hard later on, and I thought the movement can feel a bit stiff when turning your character, but once I got used to the gameplay, movement and weapons, the game just clicked and I was hooked. It's a game I recommend buying, but luckily there's a demo on the PSN store, so definitely try it and see if you feel the same before buying. So, have you played the game or the demo? What did you think? Leave a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching.